Exercise is good for your heart, they say, and runners live longer. But is that really true? For some people, exercise is a lethal mistake, and we try to get all the facts here. Let's go back 2,500 years. There was a guy named Pheidippides who ran the 26 miles from a battlefield near Marathon, Greece into Athens to proclaim the news about a momentous victory over the Persians, and when he arrived and said victory is ours, he abruptly collapsed and died. In the 70th there was jogger Jim Fixx. His book about running, link in the description, has spread excitement about the sports throughout the world. Sadly, Jim died of a heart attack while running. There were countless others who died just of the same reason. Excessive endurance sports obviously leads to a calcification of the main arteries to your heart. It seems like the heart arteries get stiff and calcified and sample more like a bone than an artery at all. Well, should we all stop running then? No, this is not the answer, because there are also plenty of positive effects. There was a physician who became famous back in the mid-70s by boldly proclaiming that if you could complete a marathon you were immune to heart attack. It turns out that this is a complete myth, but still many believe that. Endurance athletes should undergo a calcium scan of their arteries. This simple scan of your arteries costs about $100 and most sophisticated hospitals can do it. A result of 0 is perfect, 400 is severe and 1800 is scary. As Dr. O'Keefe says, he tested marathon runners, some showing about 1800. Most people do not feel anything, but their arteries to the heart are clogged. You might argue that only 1 in 100,000 runners collapses during a marathon, and that is a pretty safe number. You got a point. I agree. But what about longevity? What about the old myth, runners live longer? Does this hold true? Unfortunately, no, it is untrue. We have to go deeper into the data. There is a huge study from Denmark, which observed runners of various exercise levels, and the results are very clear. More does not mean better for you, but in contrary, less is better. People who made moderate exercise had the longest life expectancy, while couch potatoes and vivid runners did not live as long. What is moderate? They say maximum 45 minutes per session, and that may be only 3 times a week. Move around more, just get off your seat and move around. It is not Charles Darwin's survival of the fittest, but in fact, it's the survival of the moderately fit ones. The important concept is, the dose makes the poison. It's true with a lot of things. If done right and moderately, exercise not only cuts your chances of premature death in half, but it reduces risk for heart disease, Alzheimer's, osteoporosis, depression and more. It is all about the ideal dose range. If you don't take enough of it, you don't get the benefit. You take too much of it, could be harmful, maybe even fatal. The ideal jog is comfortable, which well could be accompanied by some heat once in a while. And walking in between is also good for you. Here is what a cardiologist, James O'Keefe, has to say. What happens if you go beyond the 60 minutes line is, the stretch in the chamber starts overwhelming the muscle's ability to adapt. The catecholamine levels, the adrenal levels rise, the free radicals blossom, and it starts burning the heart. Oxidative stress again. James O'Keefe continues, troponin levels at the end of a marathon, over half of them will have elevated troponins. What are troponins? Troponin is a sacred chemical to us cardiologists. When we see a troponin goes up, it means one thing: the heart muscle has died. Is this what anybody could want? If you do this over and over again, the chambers start dialing up, they get scarred, they get stiff, they get thickened. We're overwhelming the heart's capacities. There is a fascinating study done by a cardiologist that he knows and his son, who's also a cardiologist. Both are avid runners. Up in Minnesota they did a study looking at the CT scans. They looked at a group of marathoners, have been doing this for at least 25 years, at least 25 marathons during that time compared to sedentary controls, and you can see here they had 62% more plaque despite fewer risk factors. In fact, a German cardiologist just replicated this study, showing in 108 marathoners similar results, so it is hard to dismiss. Veteran endurance athletes also have about a 5-fold increased risk of arterial fibrillation, a dangerous irregular heart rhythm. There's sort of an epidemic of this going on among runners because we've only been doing this for a few decades, and it takes a while for this to develop. Even more worrisome when we see this as cardiologists, our pupils dilate, our heart rate goes up. This is ventricular tachycardia. This is a potentially life-threatening rhythm, and we can see this from the scarring in the ventricle in some endurance athletes. The Copenhagen Heart Study compared non-runners to runners, and they found the same thing. Mortality is lower in people reporting moderate jogging than in non-joggers or those undertaking extreme exercise. Moderate joggers got a 44% reduction in mortality. They lived 6 years longer, but this advantage went away if they overdid it. The truth is, that exercise does come with powerful benefits, and more is not better. Please watch the entire video of cardiologist Dr. O'Keefe. We put a link in the description below. You will be glad you did. I personally watched this video about 10 years ago, and it has changed my habit on how I do jogging and heat ever since. But we also know that the endorphins that are being released during a long run are addictive. Like smoking or alcohol, you have to say goodbye to this addiction too. Did you know that all your blood markers after a long jog are in the negative? All is down: testosterone, HGH, all. There is only one blood marker up, and that is your stress hormone cortisone. No animal in a natural habitat would do that. They might rather run fast for a very limited time, just to chase for food or to escape. What are the practical consequences of this? What can we take home with all this? If you can, change the way you do exercise and get yourself a decent magnesium product. Think about the strongest antioxidant there is. We have shown you, in another video, that there are thousands of studies, not hundreds, done with melatonin and heart health. There is also evidence that people with a heart attack strangely have also a lack of melatonin in their system. Get yourself also a good and strong vitamin K2 MK7. We have chosen liposomal and patches, because these are strongest and nothing gets destroyed in your digestive tract. Get yourself a calcium scan if you are a vivid runner. Excess calcium can be taken out of your arteries with vitamin K2 MK7. It is never too late to reverse a process. Watch below in the description the entire video of Dr. O'Keefe. It is only about 30 minutes long and it could help you a lot. If you happen to know any other remedy that cleans calcium out of your arteries, feel free to post it below. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe for more to come. Thumbs up is always good. Thank you.